How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to our channel. Today we are finally gonna do the Dressrosa Q&A video.
We're so excited to be doing this. It's our first time. In case you missed it, we're basically going to be trying to do these kind of Q&A videos after each arc where viewers can submit their questions and then we'll just take some time answering a couple of them. So let's see what kind of questions you guys submitted.
Let's go.
And we got some meat here.
Boom, look at this. Doesn't that look like official? Alright, first question is from Cindy. Who do you think the deuteragonist of the series is?
Probably Robin. I think her whole thing with being able to read the poneglyphs is like super important, and having it all tied to like One Piece, I feel like makes her such an important role in the whole journey with finding the One Piece.
Kind of like making it like a second story within the whole story. Like she's the only one who could read the poneglyphs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Put the history together, right? Another question she has is Shanks a friend or an obstacle in Luffy's way to become Pirate King?
I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's a bit of both, because he kind of needs to defeat Shanks in order to be like number one and everything, like to be Pirate King. But at the same time, I don't know what that means, like for them to fight, right? Because obviously he probably wouldn't want to, like, they wouldn't like want to hurt each other, I think.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like a friendly kind of competition fight. I'm not really sure, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's going to be more like a friend than a foe, really. Like, I don't think Shanks is suddenly going to turn into like the villain of the arc or anything like that. It would kind of just be like a heart-wrenching kind of fight between the two of them in order for him to get to his goal.
I think I see Shanks as a friend so far. I don't really know how he's going to come into play with the whole story, since like they've shown him from the very beginning and he is a part of Roger's crew, but it kind of seems like he's the one cruising. Like, I don't know what his real motive is. So far he's a friend.
Yeah.
Last one is, what is One Piece?
Oh damn, coming in with the hard questions
straight away.
already.
What is One Piece?
I think it's when everything we've been learning about the One Piece world comes together as One Piece, you know?
Okay.
That's kind of my guess of it so far, based on everything we've seen, because I feel like there's so much missing information, and then this One Piece is supposed to kind of reveal this whole history thing about the D Kingdom and everything. So I feel like in that sense it should like solve all the mysteries of the world already, right? So then everything will become One Piece. Because then if we find One Piece and then there's still questions left, then it wouldn't really be like feel like whole. It wouldn't be complete.
It won't be complete.
Yeah, so I feel like by the end of it, I feel like everything should come together. As one.
Yeah, it could be like the One Piece of like all the missing history into like finding the truth, or it could just be like everyone's will. All of a sudden we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
But definitely it's not treasure.
I don't think so. Like, I think the treasure is just something that comes along with it, but definitely has to be something deeper than just treasure.
That's kind of weird if it was like actual treasure this whole time.
I agree.
Yeah. And then I think there's one more question. Did One Piece cross your mind at any time during Dressrosa?
I think a lot of people want us to switch over to One Piece just because of like the whole Toby filler thing going on. But to be honest, even though the pacing was quite bad during Dressrosa, I never actually thought about switching over to One Piece. I don't know, I feel like kind of weird about watching a cut version that's not official. Like it's just some viewers that did it. And sometimes the repeated scenes and filler parts, I feel like we have like an enlightening moment about something that happened before, or like we talk about things and then it's like kind of giving me time to process things more, right? So I feel like
kind of helps.
Yeah, so sometimes the slow pacing helps a little bit, but then sometimes it does feel a bit like too much. Yeah,
for sure.
So the next question is from Yan Yan. Now that all of the emperors are revealed and we have a small sense of their scale, how do you think Luffy compares? Does he have a chance to fulfill his plan to take down all four? Would he even fight Shanks seriously?
Maybe currently right now he's not ready to fight an emperor right now, just because he didn't really struggle with Dofi, but it kind of pushed him to a point where he had to use his fourth gear. So, and with that, he almost lost to him. So I'm just assuming like Warlord level shouldn't be Emperor level.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, so far, like with fourth gear and everything, obviously it's a super hype moment and a huge accomplishment, like in terms of a power boost for him. But like again, what you said, it just doesn't really feel like he has like an undefeatable move yet. Like it really does feel like the emperors are still kind of in a different league. Because like even if he were to go all out and use his fourth gear, it's like, well, now he has to have this whole rest period and everything like that. And it's like, luckily with the whole Dofi situation, we were able to do that because there were some people helping.
True.
But at the same time with the emperor, I'm not sure. And I feel like a lot of his fights, he also is not always just himself. You know, there's like other factors, other people that slowly helped him get to that point.
It's a group effort.
Yeah, like kind of like a group effort. I agree. So if we're speaking like one-on-one, I don't feel like he can, but maybe with the help of other people, he maybe. But then again, that's also dependent on like what kind of alliances he would have versus the emperor, right? And the emperors have like crazy alliances, so yeah, I think as of right now, I don't really see it yet.
Yeah. And then was another one like Shanks? Well, Shanks again, or?
Would he ever fight Shanks seriously? I want to say he would, just out of like respect, you know, like for example when he fought with Usopp about Mary, he knew it was like a real fight, right? And then even though Usopp is like one of his closest friends, he still put his all and like beat up Usopp, right? He didn't go easy on Usopp. So I want to think that they would, but at the same time, hard to say if he's going all out or anything, like seriously, you know, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, seriously would be like each of them putting their life on the line, right? But I just don't really see them doing that. So I don't want to say like seriously.
Yeah, I also don't know when they would even fight each other, because Shanks like, see me when you're like accomplished, basically. So would he need an Emperor seat already, or would he need to be like King of Pirates kind of, and the kind of like, hey, you're Emperor seat right now, like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when he would fight. Maybe when he's also an emperor and needs to take over.
Oh yeah, another sea or something.
Shanks' territories or something. Yeah,
maybe something like that. Next question from user 56470. Unlike the present day, Doflamingo is wearing a suit in the flashbacks. He stopped wearing his suit at a specific point and really leans up to the whole washed up pirate cosplaying as Pink Bird aesthetic. The question is meaningless, but what do you think happened to his fashion sense? Is his new style an improvement or a downgrade? Moreover, do you prefer the old style of the Don Quixote family pictured in the flashbacks, or the newer style?
What happened to his fashion sense?
Yeah, do you think it improved? Or did it?
I think it improved.
It improved, okay. From the suits, okay.
Yeah, like he looked really good in the suit as well.
Like put together.
Yeah, but I think the pink cape and everything is so much more flamboyant, so much more fun. It stands out. It's very distinct to his character. Like I don't really see other characters like wearing that same sense of style, you know? A suit, I feel like it's pretty plain. Like he looks good in it, but it's like pretty plain. Like anyone could be wearing a suit, you know? But I don't think that many people can pull off like his pink cape and everything like that. Yeah, like
him in the red suit looked really good. He did look really badass in it, but I think there's something about him dropping the suit. Like it doesn't feel like he needs to be that formal anymore. Like he can just do whatever he wants.
Oh, like he's free.
Yeah. You know, maybe like you're working up like some like business or something. Maybe you're still wearing suits, but when you reach the top, you can just wear whatever you want. Like you're the shit. You're the shit already. Like someone's gonna like diss your outfit or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think for Doflamingo, I like his current style more than his flashback. But for the rest of his crew, I feel like they were better.
Yeah.
Before, but
Suits,
I don't know. That's just because of like they got older and like their builds and everything changed. But I feel like the vibe for the old crew was so much more like badass, cool.
It did. If they gave us like his crew wearing the suits in like current time, it'll look way more badass.
Yeah.
Like Lao Ji in his like little like superhero uniform.
Yeah. Okay, next question comes from Alex. Firstly, thank you guys for all the hard work and content every day. I am looking forward to lunchtime. That's when I get your daily uploads.
Okay.
Here are my questions. Do you think the series so far up to Dressrosa has met your expectations in terms of storytelling, world building, and character development? Let me know what you like so far and something you want to see more or something you want to even change.
I think, is it talking about Dressrosa arc or like the whole story?
I think just One Piece.
Just One Piece?
Yeah, the whole series.
Okay, like I guess the whole series kind of like exceeded my expectations. The storytelling definitely kind of like realized it was a big thing after maybe like during or after Skypia, when it's like, oh, like the things they introduce will come back, and the length of it gives it so much opportunity to like slowly come back to hints that they dropped before, which makes it really enjoyable, and the characters that they introduce. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think for me it definitely exceeded my expectations, but honestly speaking though, my expectations for One Piece were very low when I first started watching it because I didn't really know anything about it. Yeah. The only thing that I knew was it's a show about a guy that's stretchy. So in my mind, I'm just like, how is this show over 1,000 episodes where it's just about a guy that's stretchy, right? So that's all I knew, and obviously the story proved me wrong. Like Jackie mentioned, the whole world building and everything and the way the story is told is super impressive. Yeah. I thought it was going to be, I don't know, like I just thought it's going to be kind of like a generic like shonen style where it's like, oh, you defeat the enemy and then
they're not as deep.
Not deep. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But like the topics and everything was so deep, and the way the story is laid out, like with the clues and foreshadowing and everything like that. And it's just like, I don't think I've ever really watched shows like that has that much setup, right? And I think initially, before starting the show, it's like I kind of judging it because of how long it is. It's like, oh, they're just kind of milking it, right? Now that I'm watching it, it feels like, no, it's long because of how things are set up, right? Like you only get mind blown when the setup was 700 episodes ago. Something like that. It's impressive that
it was relevant even. But at the time you're watching it, you don't really see that's relevant. But at this point, everything they show is kind of relevant to us now. At this point, One Piece does feel short. Like, I don't, maybe it's because we're catching up. It does feel short. I'm just like, oh, we're at this point now, but like, only 400, we're caught up already. Like,
I think it's because despite there being so many episodes, there actually isn't that many arcs. Like each arc is pretty long running, and like I said, they actually spend time world building, developing each arc, like what's gonna happen, and then also bridging things together from like past arcs. So it really does not actually feel long at all once you start watching it. Like we're only sad. Like we're only on episode 700-ish now, but honestly speaking, it still feels like we're just starting, even though we're already way past the half point. But I don't know, for you, it like still feels like, oh, I'm just a new One Piece fan still, right?
Yeah. Like originally when they went into the Grand Line, I was like, oh yeah, we're nearing the end already, because they didn't build anything up, right? And then also they have the Red Line and stuff, right? New world, like what?
Yeah, so I think it's exceeded all our expectations. And then his second question is, during Marineford, it seems like the story was going into a darker and more tense direction, but after time skip, it seems like they kind of tone it down a little, and there are some dark content so far in time skip, but the Straw Hat crew themselves really hasn't gone through too much struggle even at the end of Dressrosa. Are you guys fine with how the story is going, or do you guys want the story to get more dark and intense like during Marineford?
So maybe it's not the right word to say that the Marineford part was dark. I guess the tensions would be the highest at that point because first introducing Whitebeard, you're like, oh damn, this guy's an emperor, right? And they keep like saying like something big's gonna happen. So high stakes, and for them battling all of Navy and the Warlords, right? We've never seen that before, so that I would say would be like the highest like peak point in the show. Maybe the next time we'll see that would be maybe the actual war from the One Piece itself. I don't really know, but as of now, like I think Luffy will eventually struggle again. Like he's up against the emperors, so he did do the time skip, but he's gonna have to struggle at some point.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say the Marineford part was dark. It's kind of more like this felt like the stakes were higher, I guess, because it was involving an emperor. But I do think the stories after Marineford were pretty dark because they were touching like real life topics and stuff like that, corruption and cycle of hate, stuff like that, right? So I think those were also very good. So I didn't really think they were bad in comparisons to Marineford or anything like that. It's just like a different arc. It's nice that we kind of got that break in between, like with Fishman Island and back with Delphi, because it's like, well, we can't just be going after one emperor and then jumping into the next one right away, right? And then and then now we are going into another one. So I think that was like a good in between time.
Good pacing.
Yeah.
Good pacing. Dave Wu asks, what do you think is under Dofi's glasses?
The question we're all wondering, the one thing we wanted to actually see in
Dressrosa right?
so badly.
I thought if he was defeated, we'll see his eyeballs, but no.
I don't really think there's anything special, just because the people in the show have already seen what's under, so it's not like it's gonna be some shocker. Well, when Luffy punched him, the glasses came off and like they zoom into his face and everything. It's just that they block it out for us viewers, right?
Wasn't that in the cave when he was falling?
Yeah.
Did people see it though?
You think people
maybe he like subconsciously was like,
he has something to actually hide?
He might have Peckham's eyes.
Oh no! That would be so
honestly,
cursed.
Peckham's eyes?
No! That would be so cursed.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anything different. Probably just like similar eyes to Rosinante or something like that. Because they're brothers, right?
Realistically saying.
Yeah.
But he could just have more glasses under there.
Like a Kakashi moment there.
Yeah.
Next up, Louis Kazooie. That name.
Louis Kazooie.
Ask, who is your favorite character that was introduced in Dressrosa? And follow-up questions, since the answer is probably Corazon. Who is your second favorite character introduced in this arc?
Corazon, yes. Does Law count? No?
Law? Why doesn't Law count?
Because we didn't really know the guy. He was just... We didn't have his, like, reasoning.
It's just your favorite. Doesn't really matter.
Rosinante is one, I guess. Then maybe Dofi, if he counts, since we got to know his whole backstory. Yeah, I think the highlight would be, like, Dofi, Rosinante, and Law.
For you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The whole, like, revenge, whole dynamic and everything.
Yeah. I think I also want to say Corazon and Dofi, just because they're brothers and the way they were raised were pretty similar, but it's like such contrast in character. So I think Dofi makes Rosinante look extra good and Rosinante makes Dofi look extra bad. So I think it makes me like the character more. But another character I think I would really like is Fujitora.
Oh yeah, that's true. He was introduced.
He was introduced, and I think the moment they introduced him, I already had like immense respect for him because of like how he handles everything with the people, and he has like genuine care for everybody, and especially like that interaction with Luffy. I think after that it was like, damn, this guy is strong. He's humble. He's respectful. Like he's just such a good guy. So I freaking love him. Yeah.
Tiam. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. What is the biggest surprise for you in Dressrosa? Biggest surprise? Is it Gear 4? Or Dofi's eyes? Dofi's backstories? He's a celestial dragon? It's complicated, remember? Or Rocinante talking? Or Law's
Oh, that's so
backstory?
hard. I'm like trying to think, but I'm like, damn, there were a lot of
Yeah,
drops
there was a
this
lot.
arc.
There were a lot where we're like, what?
I mean Corazon's like existence and everything, like his character. Cause coming into the arc, I think we picked up like Law was wearing something with Corazon
Yeah, Corazon.
in it,
Yeah,
and then
Corazon.
I just dismissed it because I'm like, oh, it's just like, you know, a style, a brand, whatever.
A brand or something,
right?
yeah.
And then afterwards, it's like, oh, when he's dying, he was like, Corazon, and then we're like, whoa, and then the reveal for everything. So I think the build up for that was really, really good, and then the drop of like who he was and everything.
That's true.
And like him being related to Doflamingo and everything, but like the contrast of character, I think.
Big contrast.
So I think that was a really huge highlight for me, but also Hiro's reveal moment for some reason. I felt like I had goosebumps and everything. Yeah, that he was like the toy soldier was Hiro's like the hero of the Colosseum and everything. Like that was insane. Yeah.
I remember that came out of nowhere. It's like, wait, what? That guy's real?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. Would probably be Rocinante's character. How he could be so loving for a kid he just like met. But maybe that was like kind of like showing his character versus like his brother. Yeah. Yeah,
like how loving he was towards Law, right? Yeah.
Or that treble groomed. And handed him the fruit. Like, here's the fruit, here's the gun. That's surprising too.
Next question is from Penguini. Do you think Sabo would make a difference in Marineford Warrior if he was there?
Oh, good question. Maybe. I'm assuming it would just be Sabo, not like the Revolutionary Army. Sabo's Haki is pretty strong, so I don't know. Maybe he could have like fought some of the admirals or warlords. That would have helped. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think by himself, I don't know about the outcome of like the whole war, but I feel like he might have at least been able to either save Ace or at least prevent like the whole thing with the Aikainu. Like I don't know if Ace would have died like some other moment afterwards, but the whole part where like you know, he got like donuted and everything, I feel like that maybe because Sabo is proven that he's very well versed in his Haki. So I kind of want to believe that maybe he would have been able to kind of block Akainu's punch or something like that.
I wonder, would Sabo's Haki be strong enough to just like
block that one, right?
Tank Akainu's like magma punch, you know, like just stop it?
Yeah. Because I feel like the reason why Ace got hit,
it's because he had to deactivate.
He had to deactivate, but
or
then
it would have went through.
It would have went through, but then he didn't use Haki.
Or he was weak already. But the guy was on the verge of death.
Yeah, so maybe if Sabo was there, like Haki, something like that.
I guess his Haki would have to overpower Akainu's Haki. Yeah, maybe the outcome could have changed. Hard to say. Next question is from Cameron Jones. Hey guys, my question is, what are your thoughts and opinions about Kinemon, Kanjuro, and Momo? Although we haven't seen much from them, it would be good to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, I don't really have too much of an opinion on them right now because we don't really know them that much.
Yeah.
But I just think that they're gonna be like our ties to Wano because it's like that's just pretty much all my opinion on them. Like I don't really have much.
Yeah, we'll find them on Punk Hazard, like it's a samurai and them bringing out Wano and stuff. It's like, okay, I guess the Straw Hats are gonna use you guys to connect it somehow.
I'm more curious about Wano itself than them, really.
Wano itself.
Yeah, like the samurai and everything, just like how the structure of the country and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's for
rather
sure.
than them like specifically.
Yeah, or like how much information do they have about like devil's fruits? Because they saw it as like ninjutsu and stuff. Yeah, curious about that.
Next question is from Johnny. I have one question so far. How do you like the implementation of Haki? For me, the major issue is how characters who should have known Haki seemingly never used it or wasn't highlighted. Then we see regular Marine soldiers using Haki, but Smoker for some reason never knew about it originally, despite Haki clearly being a thing that is well established.
Like based on what they showed us about Haki, I liked the implementation of it. I guess it's just like the animation of the Haki, like darkening certain fights or certain moments. Like technically everyone has Haki, we don't really know if they're using it or not. Sometimes they show it clearly, but technically all the fights previously from the reveal of the Haki, they should technically have it. It could, I'm just gonna say it could be from maybe just the animation back then. Like they didn't know it was a highlight, they didn't want to start like highlighting the dark fists, right? And then not explain it for like the whole entire seasons, right?
I don't think I have really an issue with how they implemented it. Like I feel like it was pretty smooth because like thinking back to some of the scenarios we talked about when Haki was first introduced, it's like we could think of instances where there was no real explanation about what happened, but then it was like Haki, for example, Anaru or Gar's punch, you know, stuff like that. I feel like were really good hints of what Haki was because there was no real explanation for those
fully
things.
explain it,
Yeah, but I think, yeah, I do have an issue with like them showing, for example, during Dressrosa, the random Marine soldiers using Haki. And it's like, don't get me wrong, like I know New World people, obviously they need to be well versed in Haki to even like survive and everything like that. But I think you bring up a really good point where it's just like, well, how come other characters, for example, Straw Hats, why are not all the Straw Hats already using Haki? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why is that random soldier supposedly now better than our Straw Hats? And our Straw Hats are in New World, right? Like, they should all be using Haki. Something like that. Or I think another issue is just like, when they first showed those Marine soldiers using it, that was also supposed to be like a moment for like Zoro. So I don't know, like I felt like it takes away from other people using the Haki, right? Like I know you guys use Haki and I know that there's like different levels of Haki, like your Haki could be completely stronger than the Marines' Haki, but at the same time it's like they're still using the same animation, you know? Like,
I think that's the problem, the same animation part. Because it's not that the Marines are using the Haki, like when they used the Haki, they activated the Haki on their swords and they infused it to like fight against the strings. It was that the few episodes before, Zoro had his moment where he'd never infused his swords like visually. And him having like a flashback and being like, Mihawk be like, you could have the darkest blade, like it'll be the sharpest, right? The sharpest blade. Because it's Haki infused, and we're like, oh, is that why his sword's that shade, right? But then right after, they use the same kind of like Haki animation or whatever, right? So it's not, it's like, huh? Okay, I get it. Like that's the bare minimum Haki animation. But it kind of took it away. Now it's like, oh, these Marines are achieving kind of what like Mihawk was trying to teach Zoro.
I think it would be nice if like the stronger people had like a different animation at least so that it would stand out, you know? So you can kind of tell it's like, hey, they're using Haki, but it's like a different level of Haki or something like that. Because if it's just all the same animation, sometimes it's like, obviously as viewers, we know that Zoro's gonna be way stronger than the random Marines, but it would just be like more hype with that visual indication, I think. Yeah.
I think so. All right, on to the next question. Cheese, list 3 OP characters would you like to see join the Straw Hat Pirates next and why?
Okay.
3.
I mean, like, depends, right? Like, just anybody. I'm just like, yo, whoever's our enemy, like, I'm first.
Actually, it does say just like any
first,
character.
join us, right?
Yeah, any characters.
I guess it depends, like, on the situation. Like, if we're just trying to
I'll just throw one out
so
right now.
OP though, right?
Crocodile.
Crocodile.
He doesn't hate Luffy. Like he's a mature man. He's totally over it. Maybe one day they can work together.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
But like, what are we trying to achieve here? Like, are we trying to achieve One Piece, or are we just trying to see like, an interesting dynamic?
I have no idea. Just join the Straw Hats. It'll be fun.
Interesting dynamic. Okay.
Fun,
I want to say Fujitora.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I know he's like an admiral, and it's probably not gonna happen. But I think this arc showed that him and Luffy kind of have the same views and goals on things. Like Fujitora really wants to just basically help people and save people and make them happy, and that's literally what Luffy has been doing, going to every single island, right? So Luffy is accomplishing kind of what Fujitora would want to do on each island, right?
Yeah.
Like Dressrosa, he even bet on Luffy, saying like, oh, he wants to see what Luffy can do because he can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So it almost feels like they're already kind of like on the same side. Not buddies, but they're like on the same side. They have the same goal.
Maybe the same sense of justice. I think that's what it is.
They have the same desired outcome for things, right?
Yeah,
so
they want the people to be happy. And stuff.
So I think he would be interesting.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
And
maybe
then
he'll backstab a Kainu. Enjoy.
Right? Yeah. And then I think another one would be Aokiji.
Aokiji?
Yeah,
okay.
Another, you know what? Just bring like another admiral.
Yeah.
Because technically he's already a pirate because he already joined Blackbeard. He's not an admiral anymore. So it's like, hey, if you're gonna be with Blackbeard, you might as well join us. Like, you're gonna be a pirate anyways. You might as well join us.
Fair.
So Aokiji.
That's true. Aokiji's a good one. Can we say Bonchan?
Oh yeah, Bonchan would be so good.
But Bonchan's gone.
I think Bonchan. I would like.
We have to bring Bonchan back. That'd be cool.
That would be my third one then. I still yours. Bonchan.
Bonchan. Jinbei? Well,
but he's already gonna join.
I mean, he said he was gonna join, but it didn't happen yet. It'd be cool if he tagged along.
But he will.
One day.
That's your third one then? Okay, Happy Hattori asks, which One Piece opponent do you think has pushed Luffy the hardest?
Baka Sampalego?
Sabaudi?
Oh yeah, Baka Sabaudi. Yeah, Baka Sabaudi with Kizaru, Sentomaru, and what are they called again?
Pacifistas.
Pacifistas. Yes, that's when he was. The Straw Hats and Luffy were just getting destroyed. I think that's his like lowest point.
Yeah.
Would you say that was his lowest point, or the Marineford when he was like couldn't even fight them?
I was gonna actually say Kizaru as well, just because like during that time their goal was to run and they couldn't even run. Like in Marineford, at least they're like fighting, you know, like that's like the goal, right? Is to fight. It's just that whatever happened, then he just like couldn't anymore. But then it was not like he was trying to get away or anything like that, right? But with Kizaru and them, it was clear that they were trying to get away, and then none of them could make it. They all got destroyed basically, and then Luffy legit thought like all of them died, right? So I think that was probably like the most devastating moment for him, like from my interpretation.
Yeah, I feel like that is definitely his hardest opponent.
Yeah, Kizaru. And like that sparked the whole training arc and everything.
It did.
Right? So,
yeah, because they lost so bad, right?
Yeah.
They're like, what's the point of going forward? They're just gonna die.
Yeah, and like not only with Luffy too, because like even with Zoro and them, they all think back to that day.
They do,
where they're like, oh yeah, we're never gonna lose like that again. So it's like that moment really stuck with them. Like none of the other things, but only that one.
Okay, next question is from Mioladis Sama. Do you guys think that Doflamingo will be relevant in future arcs or be cast aside? Also, do you think Fujitora is a Straw Hat ally?
Well, we already answered that. Like,
he's definitely an ally.
Yeah, I think he's an ally.
Yeah.
But because the goals are the same. But with Dofi, I guess at the end of the Dressrosa arc, I thought like he wasn't really relevant anymore because everything kind of was concluded, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think there was a time where we were talking and it's like, oh, we actually remembered that he has multiple bases. It's not just Dressrosa was one of the bases. Dressrosa was the Smile base, right? But he also has like other bases where he's like, for example, manufacturing the weapons and stuff like that, which like they still haven't figured that out, because I think during Dressrosa, Sabo and them, they were checking it out and they're still trying to figure out where those weapons were coming from. They just saw the hordes of them, but they didn't know where they were coming from.
They were coming into Dressrosa kind of just like to split up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I feel like in that sense, like he still has things that he could like do when he comes back out. I think also because like every time we think someone's going to not be relevant anymore, they always come back relevant.
That's true.
So I think it's actually more safe to assume everyone's going to be relevant than not at this point. Yeah,
I agree.
Like anyone could come back at any time, basically.
Any point. Well, maybe we'll see that Crocodile and Doflamingo duo.
Yeah, right? Okay, so Ozan says, what are your thoughts of Fujitori's idea to end the Shichibukai system?
The 7 warlords.
Yeah.
I think it is a good idea because Dofi essentially did all this because he was a warlord and the government didn't really do anything. So I would say replace the 7 warlords, the pirates, with maybe some other good guys. Some like more admiral level.
Yeah,
like,
7 admirals.
So yeah, 7 admirals. Yeah, 7 admirals. Because I think they said something about Fujitora being like elected or like some kind of resume or something from like
he was like recruited.
Yeah. Something like that. Why don't we just do more of that and just have them like 7 side admirals or whatever?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That would make more sense than having pirates.
Yeah. I think it makes the most sense. Like, I agree with him in the sense that it's like, I don't really see the benefits from the government side really of having the warlords. Like, I see it more benefiting the warlords because now it's like the warlords can now have these businesses, the government can't, do anything about it. And then they're running these countries like in dictatorship, torturing people, like the government can't do anything about it still. And it's like the only time we really saw them working is like during the Marineford. Which is like...
But how often is that, like...
Exactly. Yeah. So I just feel like I don't really see the benefit from... I don't see the equal benefit from each side. Like, it feels very one-sided as of right now. It's like, we kind of benefit from this, but you, the warlord, actually benefits the most. Is kind of like how I see it, really.
I agree with you.
Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, it's not like they need to necessarily be a pirate. Like, they could just be a good person too.
Strong, good person.
Like, strong, good people. And they've shown like a lot of strong, good people, right? So it's just like, why can't you do the recruiting but for good people? Why does it have to be like pirates? I guess it's like easier for them because they already have a bounty and everything.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, they kind of say it so then they keep them in check too. That was their argument. Because they kind of like want to recruit Ace because then he was running wild, right? But he's like, no.
But it doesn't really work because it's like, after you recruit them, how do you keep them in check?
Nothing.
Like, Dofi was not kept in check. Crocodile was not kept in check.
It's basically turning a blind eye, being like, yeah, you can do whatever you want now, but
Yeah. I think I would... Yeah, like, I think I would understand more if there was mutual benefits, like at the minimum, the warlords should always show up for meetings, But it's like, they've shown it where it's like, they call all the warlords and then only like some of them show up because the other guys can't even be bothered. And it's like, well, at that point, why are we even having this relationship? Like, you're not even gonna come to the meetings.
True.
Where that's just us talking. What's the point of it? You're not even pulling up to those. So I don't see how the government is benefiting. It just seems like the warlord is benefiting.
Yes, it's really weird. It's honestly really weird.
Yeah.
Isaac says the big 3 animes are One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. A lot of new anime watchers tend to throw shade at these overrated animes and don't bother watching them. You guys have already watched Naruto and currently watching One Piece. Is it worth the hype? Do you guys think it's overrated? And how is One Piece compared to Naruto? Dun, dun, dun.
Ending it with a controversial question.
Yeah.
I think they're worth the hype just because like I really liked the shows. I watched them and I liked them, and I don't know, like I think if a lot of people like something, there's a reason why there's a lot of people liking it, right? So for me, I did not think Naruto was overrated. I don't think One Piece is overrated. I think they do live up to like their big name, right? And
I agree with you. Yeah. I guess the main question would just be, how is One Piece compared to Naruto? I think that's the main thing.
Oh jeez, okay. Well, obviously we're not done One Piece yet, and Naruto is already like completed if we don't like count Boruto.
Yeah.
But I think so far it feels like One Piece stayed true to its beginnings, right? Like we're 700 episodes in now, and it's still about him trying to get the One Piece, and the story, how do I say it? The world that was built since the beginning still feels very concrete, like it's all together. I think without spoiling Naruto, for people that have not watched Naruto, I think later on in like the other half of Shippuden, it felt like things were very different from what it started off as, right? Like just the world building, I guess, felt different. Like it felt like we're in a different kind of show.
Are we in a different anime?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But I did really, really like Naruto, but I think those changes felt a little bit odd to me, which like I wasn't like a hater or anything, like I still like enjoyed it, but it just didn't feel like true to the roots of the show from the beginning,
like,
right?
You enjoy it as they give it to you, you know? Like, okay, this is what they're going with. Okay, cool. But then like after you complete it and see what they kind of like, direction they kind of went, it's like, huh, are we still ninjas?
Yeah, so something like that, yeah. but yeah, I think I don't really want to compare the two because like I love both for different reasons.
Yeah, the story's pretty different too.
And yeah, the stories are different, but I think as of right now, I can probably say I like One Piece more, just because I did feel like slightly more disappointed with the direction of where Naruto went in Shippuden. But right now, as a One Piece, I have yet to feel like any of that disappointment. So I will say that as of right now, I think I do like One Piece more.
Same. I have high expectations for a good ending.
Isaac asks, which Straw Hat do you think has the hardest dream to achieve?
The hardest dream to achieve? I feel like all of them kind of tie back up to like Luffy's. Like if Luffy becomes king of the pirates, then Nami would draw the whole map of the place. Frankie would have had Thousand Sunny sail across the oceans, right? And then Zoro would have defeated maybe Mihawk, because he has to be strong at that point. What was Chopper's? To be a great doctor?
Yeah, no illness he can't cure.
No, there's no illness. Yeah, I remember something like that. Yeah, I guess I can see that. Yeah, probably. Robin's? I guess so. That would have to be tied back to the ending.
One Piece, yeah.
Yeah, okay. She would achieve hers too.
Sanji's, obviously.
I think Sanji's would be the hardest, right?
I feel like I was just gonna say Sanji's.
Sanji's is hardest because Brook is just going to see Laboon again, right?
Yeah.
Sanji's all blue. We don't even know if that's real or not.
Yeah.
It's just a tail.
I think I was just thinking that too, because I was like going through that. I'm like, everybody's goal has been said, and it's like we know what you have to do to get there, right? But Sanji's is the only one that's still like up in the air. Like we don't even know what that even really means. Yeah, the all blue. Like, would it be where Raftel is or something?
Did Zeph find it or no? He said he tried to.
No, they want to.
He tried to.
It's their dream.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
so we don't even know if anybody has found it yet.
True.
Like it's just a rumor, right? That they believed in. So there's no actual like solid evidence so far that someone has achieved that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then also, we don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like where do you go to get that, right? Like we don't know how the steps to get there.
Maybe Nami could like point from the map at a certain point. Like, here's all 4 seas. This is the location. This is where it has to be.
But like you said, we don't even know if it's real.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
the thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or would it be Usopp's? Will he ever be a brave warrior of the sea?
Brave warrior of the sea?
Where he will never run and never be afraid. But
I
then
think the thing is, if like you already accomplished One Piece, it's like, well, to get there, you had to be a brave warrior. You had to get through everything to get there. So I feel like even despite like the way he acting or something like that, right? He's still technically brave because he's still on the adventure.
No, he is
right?
brave. Technically, being brave, you have to be it's overcoming the fear. That is being brave.
Yeah, because he
is being brave.
Yeah, because I think the definition, maybe the way we're looking at it, is wrong. It's like saying that if once he becomes a brave warrior is when he's not scared anymore, right? But I think being that, maybe it's like, oh, he's scared, but he's still gonna do it. You know?
I think that's the right way to phrase it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just don't see him as a character suddenly changing completely. Then he's not the character we know anymore, right? Then he's the only one that would have changed completely in terms of personality wise, and that just feels very strange.
Yeah, he could still be afraid, but he would still
he'll still do it. That's why it makes him brave, right?
Yeah, that's what makes him brave. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. So I guess in a way, if Luffy becomes King of Pirates, then obviously Usopp will have gained all those experiences and be as brave as there can be, because he would have fought against and saw everything at that point. And what else is going to startle him, right?
Yeah, like he already did everything, right?
Yeah, so I guess Sanji's.
All blue. Yeah.
All blue. Next one is Biggles asks, kinda Dressrosa question. We saw Mont Blanc Nolan make a surprise cameo in Dressrosa. Do you think there are other characters from the past / previous arc that we will likely see again? That's our first question. About 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we will, just because it's more likely that characters will show back up again than not from what we've seen. But which characters?
Most likely.
I feel like Crocodile.
Ooh, Crocodile.
Because he already showed up once, right? And then they were kind of hinting that he was going to also go to the New World and everything like that. So
made it seem like he had a whole plan.
Yeah, so I feel like him. Yeah. Me personally hoping that Doflamingo would also make a comeback.
True, Doflamingo, yeah.
Just because I need him to bring up some spice and chaos.
True.
And who else? I don't think someone like Hordy would show back up again.
No, those guys should be done. Those guys indeed. Do you think the Pacifistas might come back?
I think
we're done with them? You think they'll come back like upgraded?
I think the Pacifistas will come back, yeah. Like, just because we don't know anything about Kuma yet, and like that's like the whole thing about what happened to him, right?
So you think like after time skip when like Luffy and them destroyed the Pacifistas and Sentomaru's like, what the hell happened in 2 years? You think he went back to like Vegapunk and be like, hey, the Straw Hats like got so strong, we need to upgrade these Pacifistas? Yeah. Because at this point they don't do anything to them. Yeah. Right? Before they're so scary, and now. Yeah.
Because they should still technically have Kuma's body and everything. So I don't see why not. Yeah. Kuma will be a comeback for sure.
Oh, Kuma, I miss Kuma,
Because they were just like, oh yeah, he got turned and that's it. But it's like, no, this guy has so much to tell us still. Like, Dragon and them don't even know what the hell is going on with him.
That's true too, yeah.
Right? Because we thought it was like a whole plan. But it turned out that Dragon and them don't even know what's going on. So like, we have to figure out. So they have to tell us that eventually. So I feel like Kuma will also come back as well later.
True, yeah. Alrighty, the second part of the question is non-Dressrosa question. If you could have a devil fruit, what would it be?
I think that depends if I'm a main character, like fighting for survival, or I'm just like some normal person, you know? Like if I'm some normal person, that'll like a practical devil fruit. Otherwise, I'll just like pick the most OP fruit ever.
Okay, let's do practical.
I think practical,
like Robin's does a lot of work.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Robin's would be really cool, just because it's like she can even make clones of herself now with the upgrade. So it's like that would be so efficient because you're able to like finish tasks really quickly or whatever it is, right?
Would you want laws? You can basically teleport. You wouldn't be able to do the surgery stuff, but you'd be able to teleport.
Yeah, but like you get so tired from doing that.
He does get tired.
He gets tired. I feel like it's wasted, that one, if you're not like someone that's studying medicine.
That's true, fine.
Watch out, Doctor One Piece viewer be like, laws.
Yeah. It would make sense for them.
Yeah, because they were actually studying it, right? For me, I feel like it'd be wasted.
Would you ever want to be a Zoan?
No.
A giraffe?
No. No. I don't think so. I don't know who would actually pick a Zoan. I guess you
have a
really
favorite
like an
animal. Like that was it. Like this is your dream
Yeah.
to like transform into an animal.
I feel like the
Yeah.
Zoans just like lack in comparison to other Dofus, you know? Because it's like, oh, you're the animal and then you turn, but that's
You
you
get
have like
some
different
abilities.
forms. Like it's cool, obviously, but I feel like in terms of practical, like being practical or being powerful, it doesn't really seem like
It's more powerful.
it's not. It doesn't accelerate anything, you know. I feel like with the Logia and the Paramecia, they feel like
True.
they accelerate in those factors
Or
more.
Fujitora's gravity. You can fly.
Oh, true.
Right? You can like levitate something and just be on top of it
Yeah.
and fly. That's pretty cool too.
Okay, I have to say Fujitora's then, because I was like, oh, thinking in terms of like practical, but also powerful, right? But I was gonna say his for the most powerful, like if we're talking power-wise.
True, okay, sure.
Because
Yeah.
it's like gravity, so
Uh-huh.
you can literally bend time and space if you used it that way.
Yeah, maybe awaken
Right.
Fujitora.
Right?
Could do that.
You can make a black hole,
He
or
could,
you could
maybe.
like shift time in a way.
Do something
because
crazy.
of the gravity. Yeah, like I feel like he could do crazy shit like that with
Yeah,
his.
I guess so, yeah.
So I'd say his for like power.
Fair, yeah.
But you brought up a good point with flying, so that's
Flying,
fun too.
yeah. Yeah, would you want aces or Luffy's? Probably not, right?
I don't know who would
I
say
don't-
Luffy.
Yeah, I don't know when you would want to be like a rubber man in
rubber
real life,
man.
right? You're just like doing normal tasks.
Mm.
Just fling
You
yourself
can
around.
enlarge parts.
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing. I mean, Dolphy's strings were pretty useful.
Oh,
His
true.
string fruit?
He was using
He
it
had
for
clone, he
Oh,
had like
things.
so many different things that he could do with it. That was
He
pretty
was
interesting
controlling
too.
people. Yeah, but I feel like it's hard to use his for not evil purposes. You're like controlling people.
Yeah, that's
with
pretty
it,
fun
right?
too. I don't know.
Yeah, but then
Wow.
you have to be a villain then to control.
I guess you
people
gotta
and
become
stuff
a
like
villain.
that.
I don't know. Yeah.
So what's yours then? Doflamingo?
String fruit is pretty cool. Or would you want the toy? The toy
sugar?
fruit? Yeah, dude. Would you want that?
It's powerful, it is. But I think
You'll have
You
these minions though, but then you have to use real people, so I don't know.
But you have no defense.
But no one would know it's hard to use.
Because they don't remember.
But then it's functional. If I'm just saying like functional, but then you need to sacrifice people, which is kind of messed up,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe that's not something that concerns you.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay, next question's from Enzo. Also, what did you think of the supporting characters in this arc? Cavendish, Bartolomeo, Sai, and others. I remember at the beginning of the arc where you thought they weren't going to be relevant at all. Hahaha. What would you happen to have in order of which ones you liked more or less? For Bartolomeo for sure, bro. Like,
yeah, Bartolomeo.
number one.
Bartolomeo number one, I guess. Yeah, and then
Just 'cause
Sai. He definitely popped off. He fought against Qin Zhao, got his wife, defeat Lao Ji, man, that was crazy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, for me, Bartolomeo and Sai stood out the most for me, just because like Bartolomeo is so relatable, and then Sai is like, was just like such an unexpected moment of hype for him, where that fight literally made me feel like I'm cheering for a Straw Hat moment there.
Yeah.
So
Out of
I
nowhere.
think just because of that fight, I like grew to like him a lot.
I agree with you. Cabbage is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Him and the whole falling asleep.
yeah,
That's pretty crazy. So Narc and FX, what were your least favorite moments as well as your favorite moments in Dressrosa? That's the first question.
Least favorite moment.
Yeah, least favorite and most favorite. Your best and worst.
I think my best memory is Corazon's death. Like both for that.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, obviously the least favorite part because it's like I knew it was coming and it was so painful, but at the same time I fear it because it's like I'm gonna remember you forever.
Yeah, Law's backstory and the whole Corazon was really good. Done really well.
Yeah.
I guess that would be like one in the favorites. And then Musi would be on the least favorite.
Oh
Luffy was running so much.
All the Ikuzos, true.
Yeah, honestly, I have to confess, when Musi got shot by Dofi, I was like, yes, shoot Musi a few more times.
You're like, yes, just get rid of this. I don't have to watch it anymore.
It was so funny because then like Luffy was toppled over in the water and stuff too, and then Dofi was talking to Law and be like, look at you, like look at this, like you left me for like Musi and Luffy who's like drowning in the water, right? So it's like, it was really funny.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, yeah, I changed my mind then. I think Musi, all the Ikuzos. Oh, and the Coliseum cheering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah, just cheering, like the audience, like just yeah, like we've seen that so many times, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I changed my answer. Those were my least favorite.
Those are the pacing issues or whatever.
Corazon. I want to say Corazon death is my favorite moment. That sounds fucked up, but I think that's the part that touched me the most. That like stood with me the most out of this arc.
It could be Law backstory. It just had Corazon.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. And I think another moment that I also really liked was Fujitora wanting to see Luffy's face.
Yeah, that was a very wholesome moment.
That was such a precious moment.
That showed like how Fujitora was like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a second part. Also, would you ever cosplay as OP characters in the future for video/reactions? If so, what characters would you cosplay as?
Okay, well, we already did it.
Yeah, we'll have Robin here.
And Luffy.
And yeah, big Luffy.
I don't know about reactions, like the daily episode one.
Yeah.
Just because like it's kind of a lot more work to like get dressed for it. But I think it'd be fun for like the Q&A videos.
Yeah, Q&A videos or like a stream or something. Maybe
comment which characters you want to see Jackie cosplaying.
Yeah, which one? Maybe we can make it happen.
Are there ones that you would cosplay them?
I don't know. I'm like looking at the characters and then the build, I'm like, I don't know. I think Luffy would be the easiest.
Luffy.
But then I'd be like full Luffy after he's done eating the meat.
After he's done eating the meat. No, it would just be only the bone.
Oh, yeah, the bone. The freaking bone, yo. It comes out, man. That's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fine. It's not like the characters' proportions are very realistic.
True.
Like the women are like don't even have rib cages.
I mean, that's the fun of cosplaying, right? You just want to dress up as the character you want, like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I have the build for the female cosplays, but I'm still gonna do it. It's still fun. But
cosplay's fun.
I think for me, I would like to just do Robin, and then Hancock. And then maybe Gender Ben Zoro.
Gender Ben Zoro.
Daniel. Yeah, that one would be fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Philippi asks, would you both have imagined at the beginning of the story of One Piece would be as you see now? What changes from the beginning to the current episodes do you think One Piece is really all that we fans talk about before you started? That's the main thing.
I don't know. I feel like the vibe did change from the beginning because when we were first just retrieving the crew, like getting to building the crew.
Before Grand Line?
Yeah, before. Yeah, I think before the Grand Line when we were just recruiting the crew and everything, it didn't feel that complex yet. Like we were just basically going to a town, getting someone, leaving. I think that was like
the build was
pretty
much
it.
Slow,
yeah, for recruiting the crew. But right after, everything like just blew my mind.
Would you say Alabasta kind of like had a spot? What do you think after Alabasta?
I want to say after Alabasta. I want to say Skypia is when things like started blowing my mind a lot in terms of like the plot and story, because up until Alabasta, the story still felt very like linear, I would say. Like it didn't feel like there was setup, or maybe there was and I was just like not even picking it up. But I think with Skypia is the first time I felt like my mind was blown, like with the whole dials and everything. Like when they hinted that, And we didn't pick that up at all. And then later I was like, I felt so dumb. And I think at that point, that's when I knew the show was going to be different. Because the setup for that was so good that I was like, I think at that point is when we started changing the way we watched it too.
I think so, yeah.
Because we started taking note of details more and like thinking like, hey, is this going to be relevant or is that going to be relevant? So, because before that, it didn't feel like it. But I guess
I agree with you. I think up to Skypia, like Alabasta was still pretty linear in the info they shared. I think after we took in Robin, because now her goal is now a part of our goal now, and then hinting the DAOs, like, oh, vacation, all the DAOs could do all this stuff, and then later on the DAOs end up becoming like some kind of weapon, right? Which then we're like, hold up, we missed that.
Yeah.
And it made us question our own abilities. But hold up, we're better than this. And then after that, we're like kind of on top of it after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just like seeing such a, I feel like, obvious hint, and then we missed it. I was like, God, I remember feeling so dumb because I'm like, damn, that explained everything, but we were still like so freaking confused.
Because we're like, how are they doing
on?
these things, right?
Yeah.
Like, how are they doing these attacks or whatever? And I was like, oh, dials.
Yeah. I remember when during that arc I was so confused.
Yeah.
And then after that I was like, I can never feel that way again. I have to understand this story fully.
Yeah, I think it did kind of like set the vibe for the rest of the story though. It's like, oh, I kind of know what they kind of go for now when they do the storytelling. The hints and stuff.
Okay, KPK asks, great idea, team. Doflamingo is easily one of the best villains in the world of anime. What do you think was the treasure that he talked about?
The national treasure of Marine Joy. Okay, so is it the third weapon?
That's what we were suspecting, right? Like, I think that's what we were thinking.
Is it the third weapon?
Yeah. I think it's either that or some secret that's only like the celestial dragons are supposed to know about it.
But then that would date back to like the D Kingdom, and it would just be, the secret would just be a book or something, no? It would just be like a history book or something? It would be an artifact of power or something, right? What do you think? Or devil fruit. I mean, a national treasure is like this special devil fruit.
Maybe. What? No, I don't think
that
so.
That could.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think our best answer was just Uranus. I think we talked about it like when we were watching that episode as well.
It would make the most sense to give like the world government some sort of like ancient weapon or something. Okay, Mob asks, were you guys expecting a new gear from Luffy at this point, or was it a surprise? Also, how do you guys feel about it? Because a lot of people thought it looked goofy and unserious when it came out in the manga, even though it fit Luffy and his character. I guess in the manga they wouldn't have the bouncing noise too.
Oh yeah. He just look puffy.
Or when he's flying, the jet noise is like he's like spamming them.
I personally do think that designs are a bit goofy, but I think that's like for a lot of One Piece designs, it's not conventional scary villain powerful moves. And I think I appreciate that actually, because it makes things like so much more fun, you know? It's not like, oh, I just suddenly turned edgy and powerful. It's like, oh look, he's bounce man and he's powerful with it. Yeah, like I think that adds to it so much more, and like you said, it fits Luffy's character. So personally, I don't have any issues with it. Like I do think it's goofy, but I think it's like fun goofy. Like it fit a fitting kind of.
And it makes sense still. Yeah, it still made sense. It wasn't like an asshole. Dolphy still was like, oh, he still has the rubber properties. Even when he was fighting him, so it's like, okay, so stay true to his character. I like the design. He looked like the Nightmare Luffy, but like more normal, not a zombie.
Yeah, it was hinted too. That was fun.
Yeah.
Were we expecting it? No, I don't think I was expecting anything.
When he's in like 4th year, it's like, what the hell? Why is he hiding this? So that means everything he did before this, nothing challenged him.
Yeah. I think we weren't expecting it also because like they don't really show them training for new moves in One Piece. It seems like they just kind of pull them out. So it's like, I feel like you can never really expect it because it's like, how would you really know? But I guess like Yeah, we should have saw it coming though, just because it's like, how are we supposed to fight an emperor with just this third gear that was introduced like pre-time skip, you know? Now, we're supposed to now
I guess, yeah.
like fight an emperor with a move that we learned pre-time
True.
skip. Like, it didn't really make sense, but it never just like occurred to
Yeah,
me.
but I didn't even think that was gonna be like a highlight for like pre-time skip, right? Since they were focusing on Haki, so I never thought that he would use another gear.
Another
Gear technique, right?
Oh, like a double fruit technique.
Yeah, because then he was like, they're kind of showing his conquerors, they're showing how fast he was. And
But they're kind of related because it's like his technique, but it's also with Haki.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, now his gear is like infused with Haki, so I'm like, okay, I guess that came in good, and they kind of incorporated the whole thing. Yeah, it's definitely a surprise.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna do some of the YouTube questions now. There were a lot of Patreon questions, and sorry we can't go through all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll ask for the next arc, and hopefully we can get to them. But...
Yeah. First question by Mr. 019. What's your thoughts on Sabo's return? Because it's a very polarizing topic in the fandom.
Yeah, I heard it was a bit controversial for him to come back, but I personally didn't really have any issues with it just because like it was already set up. Like we already suspected that, oh, Dragon saved him because of like how they ended things off and everything, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it was kind of already set up that he was gonna come back. So I didn't really think anything of it when he did come back. Like I didn't think it was like weird or threw me off or anything like that.
Yeah, I think people wouldn't have an issue with Sabo coming back, but maybe an issue of Sabo taking like the Ace's fruit. I think that's where they'll be like, oh, he took his fruit. He's just like a knockoff Ace now or something.
Okay, but my argument for that would be like, who taking Ace, like, which character should have taken Ace's fruit if not Sabo?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people would have been upset with anything. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's a good argument,
right?
Yeah.
Like, who?
No one else. Honestly, it's Ace's fruit, so anyone who takes it would have still got shade. So
Yeah,
it made
right?
the most sense.
At least with Sabo,
Yeah.
there's like sentiment, like they're brothers
Yeah.
and everything like
Kind
that.
of like carrying
So-
the torch, kind of, and he's gonna look after Luffy. I guess.
Yeah, like it
Like-
feels more right with
Yeah.
Sabo. Like I think with anybody else, people would have still been upset, but at least with Ace, there's sentiment feeling to it.
Or like maybe they're kind of like upset with how fast he came into the story. Sabo came in pretty quick. That was
Like he just popped in.
yeah, kind of like, oh, you want to give me the offer? And then I was like, oh, Sabo's confirmed now, you know? Out of nowhere, I don't know. Do people have issues with that? But it's like there's no other way because then once the story's told, it's like the guy lost his memory. Like, what can he do? you know?
Yeah. What is your opinion about Doflamingo? Is he really a bad guy or just a broken person that turned evil?
Oh shit. He is a broken person that turned evil. He is a subject of the environment.
Yeah, I want to say that too, just because when they did the flashback, they showed that he was capable of like compassion and care towards his mom. Like he did love his mom, he cared for his mom.
Yeah.
So I want to say that it's because of the conditions or like you said, the environment that he grew up, that it turned out that way.
Yeah.
And I guess it also just like depends on your personal outlook on people, like if it's possible for someone to just be born evil, because I personally try to think that people aren't just inherently evil and that you know they can be guided to be good, right?
Yeah.
So I think in that sense it's like I don't really think he was like born evil or something like that.
He loved his mom, you know, like after she died it just went downhill and we had like trouble grooming him. Here's the gun, here's the fruit, yeah, go do all the evil stuff. Erin Black Bell asks, how do you think Luffy's crew's gonna how big do you think Luffy's crew's gonna be in the future? And if you're one of the characters in this arc, would you prefer to be in Dofi's crew, under Fujitori's command, or a participant of the Colosseum, Revolutionary Army, or the Tontatas? The Straw Hats are an exception because they're the best.
Well, I think for this main Straw Hat crew, it'll probably just be like addition Jinbei, right? Like I don't really think we're gonna be adding any more people at this point for the main crew.
But for the fleet.
I could see there being a lot of extra additions. Like for example, even just encounters that we had with people beforehand. Like for example, Vivi, Skypia, like those kind of places. I definitely see them wanting to help Luffy if Luffy needed them.
Like they're not in the fleet, but they would help Luffy if the time comes.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to say, I think the way things are going, especially because he's going to be up against some emperors next, I feel like his numbers are going to have to be emperor level. At the end of this. At the end of this thing, so at the end of One Piece, whatever it is.
He is slowly gathering his allies.
Yeah, exactly.
Which crew would you want it to be in? In this arc, Dressrosa arc. I'm gonna say Tontadas, because after the slavery, okay? Like, I'm chilling. Sure, like just like stealing stuff or whatever.
You just want to go in between Robin and Zabu.
That's if you become chief, though. You know?
Well, you'll be running for chief as the Tontada. I think being in the Revolutionary Army would have been fun because it's just like, oh, you're just popping in to get information, and it would just be like nice to know more about the Revolutionary Army. To be honest,
To get inside first.
Yeah, I feel like we don't really know that much about them.
Yeah.
So that would be good for me. Next question is by BKPP Slay. What is the one thing or reveal you are the most curious and excited about in One Piece?
I don't know, the blank century, the history. I think I'm more interested in that than Luffy become king of the pirates.
Right.
The history.
Right.
Right?
How everything is gonna come together.
Yeah.
I think like the number one thing, obviously, like you said, would be the blank century and like what happened with the kingdom and everything. But I think the other one would also be like devil fruits. There's just like so much random, not enough information about them. It's like I don't really know if they are going to explain,
like
or
they're
if it's
tied
just,
together.
Yeah, like if it's just going to be, hey, this is the power system that was established, but it's like, or are they going to actually tell us how that power system came to be?
Yeah.
Right? So I think with devil fruits, like origins of devil fruits or something like that. And also another thing would be Vegapunk.
Oh yeah, Vegapunk. Yeah.
How is this guy so fucking smart? What is he
He's a
doing?
genius.
What are his goals? Like, what is he trying to accomplish?
Even now we don't.
I think Vegapunk. That's another one.
That's a good one,
Yeah.
Vegapunk. Okay, last question for the day. Nani1948 asks, my question for you guys, does Luffy increase his PP size during Gear 4th, or does it stay the same as his base form?
Okay, obviously it has to also enlarge.
Yeah.
Because it's just
sense.
like proportionate wise, right? Like it has to.
He could do his 3rd gear and do like a gum PP smack or whatever.
Yeah, technically speaking, even like with 3rd gear, he
Yeah.
should already be able to enlarge because he should be able to enlarge.
It's just
with
where he
anything,
targets.
right? Yeah.
First off, he wouldn't do that because his pants will break.
Yes,
Right.
that's so funny. Of course, we had to get like at least one PP question.
One PP question about Luffy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that wraps up our Dressrosa Q&A question video. Thank you guys so much for these questions. They're all fantastic.
Yeah, thank you everybody that submitted questions. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to all of them just because there were so many and we have time constraints. But we will be doing another one in the next arc, so please make sure to submit more questions then and maybe we can get to your question next time.
So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye!
Peace.
Yeah! Wait, hold on. Ready?